Good afternoon. Shana Tova. Oh no, the energy level is down here. I can't imagine why, after a day of fasting and reflection and introspection and everything else. And yet this sacred time is filled with, in the perspective of our leaders, the greatest potential for change and work and opportunity. So may we avail ourselves of this sacred time, the afternoon service into the Ne'ilah service, for all of the change work, all of the inner work that we need. We're going to get right to it and jump into the Torah service, which can be found on page 328. I invite you to rise if you are able. Invite up our esteemed co-president Rebecca Shore, who will get the Torah from the Ark. It's a light one, it's okay.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai.
Shema
be seated, unless you have a strong desire to remain standing. It is a privilege to invite up for the first Torah reading Stacy Roger Gordon. She is going to be reading from Leviticus 19, verses 1 through 8, part of a section known as the Holiness Code. And then for the first Aliyah, it is a privilege to invite up Bobby Colin, Fran Colin, and Jill Vexler. Ya'amdu Baruch Yishaya ben Chaskel v'chaya Reitza v'fega bat Yisrael zev v'yita Rasha v'malka bat Esther v'hershel le'aliyah arishona. Yeah. Here. Awesome. Baruch Adonai Ambarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Ambarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
If I could have the book, please. I need to translate after this. Go ahead. Yeah, why don't you unroll it further? Perfect. Leave it to Bobby Colin to figure it out.
Amen. Amen. V'yadaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el kol adat b'nei Yisrael. Velmarta alehem kedoshim tiyu. Ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. Ish imo ve'aviv tora'u ve'et shabtotai tishmoru. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Al tifnu el ha'elilim velohei ma'asecha lo tasu lachem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Vechi tisbechu zevach shalamim Adonai. Lirtzon kem tisbachu bayom zivchachem ya'achil umimacharat v'hanotar ad yom hashlishi ba'esh yasarev ve'im ha'akol ya'achil bayom hashlishi pigul hu lo yiratzeh ve'ochla bavono yisa Ki et kodesh Adonai chilil, v'nechrataha nefesh hahi me'ameha.
This section from the Holiness Code can be found on page 338. And Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to all the community of Israel, and say to them, You shall be holy, for I, Adonai, your God, am holy. Revere each of you your mother and your father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am Adonai your God. You shall not turn to idols, and you shall not fashion for yourselves molten gods. I am Adonai your God. And when you make a sacrifice of well-being to Adonai, you shall offer it so that it will be acceptable for you. It shall be eaten on the day of your sacrifice and on the next day, but what remains until the third day shall be burned in fire. And if nevertheless it is eaten on the third day, it will be a foul thing, unacceptable. And one who eats it shall bear guilt for profaning the holiness of Adonai, and that person will be cut off from the people. And when you reap the harvest of your lands, you shall not finish by reaping the corners of your field. You shall not gather the gleanings of your harvest." This is before. They might need a different prompt.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yasher kochechem. So as they are getting hugged, it is a joy to invite Sarah Diaz to come and read Leviticus 19, verses 9 through 13. And for the second blessing, before and after the Aliyah, it is a joy to invite up Fletcher Eschbau, Joan Berenbaum, and Abby Strauss. Ya'amdu Bitzalel ben Avram v'Sarah, v'Yocheved bat Yisrael v'Rivka, v'Abby bat Harold v'Muriel li'aliyah ha'shenit. Good. We're going to close it in a moment. Good.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach
Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'kutzayechem eketzirotzehem lo tachaleh ba'atzadcha liksor v'leket yitzurcha lo tlaket v'charmecha lo ta'olel u'verkamecha lo tlaket la'ani v'lager da'azohovotam ani Adonai Elohechem lo tinovu v'lo techahashu v'lo tashikru ish balamito v'lo ta'asok v'yishmi la'shakir v'hilalta et shem Elohecha ani Adonai lo ta'asok et re'echa v'lo tikso lo tali ve'ulat sakir Yidchat boker.
Did amazing.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'kayei olam nata b'tokenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Thank you so much. Asher kochechem. And you shall not pick your vineyard bare, and you shall not gather the fallen fruits of your vineyard. Leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am Adonai your God. You shall not steal, and you shall not deceive, and you shall not lie to one another, nor swear falsely in my name, profaning the name of your God. I am Adonai. You shall not exploit your neighbor, and you shall not rob. You shall not keep a worker's wage with you overnight until morning. You shall not curse a person who is deaf, nor put a stumbling block before a person who is blind. Rather, you shall revere your God. I am Adonai. For the third Aliyah, it is a privilege to invite Elisa Macklin, Sharon Shemesh, and Mindy Sherry, and to read the Torah reading, which is Leviticus 19, verses 14 through 18, is Lori Truheft. Ta'amodna Freda Chaya Rochel Bat Zalman V'Reza Leah Sharon Bat Nava V'Shaul Me'ira Freda Bat Shoshana Devora V'Lib Raphael Li'aliyah HaShlishit.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen. Lo tele, lo tikalel cherish, v'lifnei ver, lo titein mikshol, v'yaretam Elohecha, Ani Adonai, lo tasu avel bamishpat, lo tisaf pene dal, velo tedar pene gadol, b'tzedek tishpot amitecha, lo telech rachil biamecha, lo tamod al dam recha, ani Adonai, lo tisna et achicha bilvavecha, hocheach tochiach et amitecha, velo tisa alav chet, lo tikom velo titor et bnei amecha, v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, ani Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, b'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Asher kochechen. You shall not do injustice in judgment. You shall not favor one who is weak, and you shall not defer to one who is powerful. You shall judge your kin with justice. You shall not spread slander among your people. You shall not stand idly by the blood of your neighbor. I am Adonai. You shall not hate your kin in your heart. Reprove your friend. Thus you will not bear guilt because of a friend. You shall not seek vengeance or bear a grudge against members of your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am Adonai. It is a joy to invite Ellen Ettinger to come forward to read Torah. We have jumped to Leviticus 19, verses 32 through 37. And if you thought you could just kind of sit there and hang out around the edges, the entire congregation is invited to do an aliyah. So I invite you to rise if you are able. And if you're looking for the blessings before the Torah reading, they can be found on page 330. 1, 2, 3. Baruch et Adonai Hamborach, Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed, Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen.
Amen. Mipnei seva takum v'hadarta pnei zaken v'yareta me'elohecha ani Adonai v'chi yagur itcha ger ba'atzachem lo tonu oto ke'ezrach mikem yihye lachem hager hagar itchem va'ahavta lo kamocha ki gerim heitem be'eretz Mitzrayim, ani Adonai Elohechem, lo ta'asu avel bamishpat bamidah bamishkal uvamsura mozne tzedek avne tzedek efat tzedek V'hin tzedek yihye lachem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim ushmartem et kol chukotai ve'et kol mishpatai va'asitem otam ani Adonai.
1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. I invite you to remain standing as Fletcher Eschbau and Rebecca Shore lift and dress the Torah. We are on the bottom of page 340.
It's Zot Torah, Asher Moshe,
Seated. As you may be aware, our congregation has a long tradition of doing very creative approaches to the book of Jonah, dating back years. Sometimes something akin to mime, sometimes PowerPoint presentations, all kinds of things. But I have the unique privilege of inviting forward someone who has become a dear friend of mine over the past couple of years. Matthew Johnson Harris is a Broadway director. He is a choreographer who literally has to head uptown to Alvin Ailey after this, so it really needed to start before 5 o'clock to make sure that he could teach some beautiful dance. He is an incredible actor and singer, but more important than all of that, to me at least, is he is my teacher. And he is somebody who has sat with me on countless occasions, on the phone, in person, over some really good Korean barbecue, to talk about race and racism, to talk about LGBTQ inclusion, to talk about all of the work that we have to do and the work that can be done through the arts themselves. So it is an absolute honor and joy to invite the person who I've known most recently as Associate Director of Parade, Matthew Johnson Harris, to kindly come forward. And we are going to bless before the Haftorah, and then I'm going to jump that way and cede the podium joyfully. I'm going to invite everyone to join in as we read. We don't sing. We could give our voices a little rest. On page 342, the blessings of the Haftorah.
Baruch
atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar binvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'amarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah v'Moshe avdo v'Yisrael amo v'invi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Matthew Johnson Harris, and it's been a great pleasure to get to know Rabbi Joshua. He's become my big brother in my head as we navigate just what it means to be a human trying to do life and finding the intersections of our individual identities, and through those intersections, hopefully have collective freedom for all of us, right? We're not free until we all are together, unitedly free. I most recently got to be the associate director of the Broadway revival of Parade. Did anybody see that? Yes. It is the hardest job I've ever done in my life. We were in rehearsals last November at the height of when Kanye West was Kanye Westing. And if you've seen our show, there's a lot of intersection between anti-Blackness and anti-Semitism. It's about Leo Frank, who was wrongfully lynched right after the Civil War, but also it's in the Confederate South. So there's a lot of undertones of anti-Blackness. So that day when we had to come into rehearsal after neo-Nazis in LA had that, banner, And you could hear a pin drop in the room because we were trying to find a way to make space for all of our collective grieving. But the way white supremacy works is it says, no, only I'm allowed to be sad. My people have hurt the most. And so it was like literally one person didn't know what to say, then another person didn't know what to say. And I didn't take for granted that I was blessed to have a church that is now in a synagogue because our church, Middle Collegiate Church, burned down in the East Village. And so Joshua Staten's and Easton Temple has been hosting us there. And I was like, oh my God, the synchronicity of that. I'm in a show about anti-blackness, anti-Semitism with my black, dreadlocked pastor and my newly friend rabbi. This isn't an incident. I feel like this is supposed to happen. And it really started my interfaith journey. So it takes me to Jonah. Now, if you would have talked to me 3 years ago, I don't think me and Jonah would have had a lot in common. I do believe that I do run from God's calling a lot, where God has told me specifically that I need to do something. I'm like, okay, God, I don't know if I really want to do that. So that we do have in common, but outside of that, I found myself in most situations what I would call the bigger person, the person that's willing to forgive and to move on. And that was kind of what I was known for, the nice guy in the business. And then we went into a pandemic, 2020 happened, and George Floyd was murdered. And when George Floyd was murdered, the whole world collectively started thinking about different ways they could make their rooms more diverse and more equitable. I have been in New York City since 2010, working as a choreographer and a Broadway professional, but never really pushing through. Right after George Floyd was murdered, my phone did not stop ringing. Completely changed my life. And because of that, I really struggled with trust, believing that it was real. And this is the first time I've ever said this out loud, y'all, so bear with me. Really wanting there to be some type of, not just accountability around the lack of diversity for so many years, but also the accountability for the many years that I was in rehearsal rooms and the type of things that you think that I was would hear would be in the 1960s, but these were the 2000s and 2010s. Immediately after George Floyd was murdered, I went to the Boston Conservatory of Music, and the African American students together signed a petition where we wrote down all of the different things that had happened to us during the course of being at that school. And one of them was we had a professor, a musical theater history teacher, that used to walk into the room just like to say the N-word, just like to say it. And this was 2009. And I remember us complaining at that time, and it was told that, okay, he's a little different, his approach is a little eccentric, but y'all, it was in no relation to what we were doing in the room. It was just shock value, him being able to use the power that he had, and us only being not even 1% of the population of the students that went to that school. So we all got together back in 2009 and wanted him gone. And it didn't happen. And then 2020, we all came out with our stories. The Boston Globe and then a lot of national papers covered it. And he was removed. And then after that, all of our phones started ringing of other teachers who had similar stories. And I remember one of my college roommates who called me. And he specifically told me one day when I was singing and rehearsing that black singers will never be on the level of anyone that is white. We're inferior. That was verbatim out of his mouth. And he was from North Carolina, and he was one of the people that called me after it had came out that the professor had been removed. And I kid you not, his exact words on the phone call was, "I'm sorry, I didn't know what I was doing. Can you please not tell anybody?" And I didn't. I sat with that. And I was in this weird place where I was accepting all the blessings that seemed to be blessings that God was giving me as my career was catapulted into the stratosphere, while also having this imposter syndrome that was unreal. You here because you black, But just to call a thing, that's how white supremacy also wants to work. It wants you to say that you got into this space and you got in it by some trick, and because they were trying to meet some quota, and that's why you're here, so you never fully live freely in your gifts. And I looked up and I was like, oh, well, that person is the producer's son. That person, is dating the director. And I'm here because I'm black, and we all talented. We all here. It doesn't matter how you got here, right? But here's the deal, that I am just now really learning to work through, thanks to a great therapist, y'all. Therapy is great. God and therapy have changed my life. But I was so depressed. And if y'all know the story of Jonah, he tells the people in Nineveh that they need to repent, and they do everything right. They say, okay, good, we got to get our lives together, okay? We got 40 days, we're going to fast, we're going to quit doing all the things that we were doing before, and then God shows them mercy. The same thing was happening in the world of Broadway. I was looking at these producers and these directors and these classmates that since 3 years has passed since George Floyd has been murdered, it's 2023, and I'm looking at them actually showing up and doing the work, and I can't get past it. My heart can allow them to be who they are now. And what I've learned from Jonah is sometimes we have to release our idea of what justice is to make space for all of our humanity, to make space for us to just be who we are, and all the icky, oh my gosh, this is the first time I've said this out loud because I'm still kind of dealing with it, because I'm still really processing the hurt of all of it, but one of my favorite quotes is, it's easy to forgive and forget, but it's hard to let somebody forget that you forgave them. And that's exactly what I feel like I'm going through. And even though these people have shown up and they are doing the work, there are more organizations that are trying to find the intersections of how we change Broadway than there ever has been before. And I, like Jonah, can't get past wanting some type of God to come down like he did, very Old Testament, well, in my world, very Old Testament. I come from the evangelical Christian world, but come down and say, look, And I had to, if I honestly was gonna be a person that believed that God shows me grace and he shows me, gives me the opportunity to fully be me and all of my humanity, I gotta let these people be who they are now. Forgiveness isn't about changing the past or a hope that the past can change, but it's about making space so we can have a future. And thank you, because I feel like I just did another therapy session up here with y'all. Thank you for going through it with me, which takes me to the song that I want to sing for you today. It's from the musical Man of La Mancha. It's called The Impossible Dream. And I love this song because Don Quixote says, to be willing to march into hell for the heavenly cause, literally Jonah, walk into hell for the heavenly cause, to tell these people of all the ways that they have been doing wrong and deliver them and change them. And then he says in the song, and I know if I be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I'm laid to my rest. Anger, resentment, or even justice won't give you peace. You have to heal yourself from the trauma of the things that happened in the past, move ahead with your heart healed, and that will be the only way you'll be able to lie peaceful and calm. It might feel impossible, but I believe, like Don Quixote says, this is our quest. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable wrong, to love pure and chaste from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable stars. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for that heavenly cause. And I know if I only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm, as I'm laid to my rest, and the world will be better for this, that one man scorned and covered with scars still drove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable stars. Thank you. Thank you, big brother. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Thank you so much.
So Matthew needs to go to Alvin Ailey because he's only doing 9 things at once. But suffice it to say that he's an extraordinary human being and a blessing to us all.
Thank you.
So thank you for
Thank
teaching
you.
us. Like I need a breath after that.
Yeah. Inspiring.
So we are going to endeavor to recite the blessings after the Haftorah, which can be found on page 351. We're going to read them together, not sing them, for ease for all of us, because there are words that are unique for Yom Kippur. And I hope that you are all taking in the incredible juxtaposition. Oh, I need to turn on my microphone. Rabbis ruin
Everything. Oh, there we are. So we're going to turn to page 351 for the blessings after the Haftorah. I hope that you love the juxtaposition of Don Quixote and Jonah. Having read both volumes of Don Quixote, I have never made that connection in my life. So now I kind of want to go back and read that. That's some serious midrash going on. So we are going to read in the Hebrew on page 351, not sing, and read at a leisurely pace as befits Yom Kippur afternoon.
Baruch
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, ha'medaber umkayem, shekol divarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al hanvi'im, ve'al yom ha'kippurim hazeh, shenatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, limchila v'lislicha, ulichpara, lichavod ultiferet. Al kol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umbarachim otach, yitbarach shimcha beficho chai, tamid leolam va'ed, uvdarecha emet v'kayam la'ad, Baruch atah Adonai. Melech mochel v'soleach la'avonotenu, la'avonot amo beit Yisrael, uma'avir ashmotenu b'chol shana v'shana, melech al kol ha'aretz, mekadesh Yisrael, yom ha'kippurim. Amen. I invite you to rise if you are able as we return the Torah, page 352.
Hallelujah, Shem Adonai, ki nizgav Shemo levado. Odo ha'leretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo.
may be seated. We jump ahead to page 416 as we read in the English. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence, and when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. Now that you have gotten very comfortable, I invite you to rise if you are able for a Shamnu confessional. Together in the English, the Vidui Rabbah, the long confessional, which can be found on page 418. For these sins, our God, we ask forgiveness, the ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through insincere promises, the ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world by making light of serious matters, the ways we have wronged you by giving in to our hostile impulses, and harm we have caused in your world through condescension, the ways we have wronged you through our innermost thoughts, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths, the ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or neighbor, the ways we have wronged you by hating without cause, and harm we have caused in your world through hypocrisy. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. The Vidui Rabbah continues in the English on page 420. The ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world through our thoughtlessness. The ways we have wronged you by profaning your name in public, and harm we have caused in your world through offensive speech. The ways we have wronged you through gossip and rumor, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers. The ways we have wronged you through narrow-mindedness, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business. The ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality, and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink. The ways we have wronged you by betraying trust, and harm we have caused in your world through impulsive acts
of malice.
For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Please remain standing. Page 426. Before the open ark, Avinu Malkeinu, as Joseph wept and opened a forgiving heart to his brothers, let our hearts be open to those who ask our forgiveness. Avinu Malkeinu, as the high priest entered the innermost shrine to atone, let our acts of tshuva touch our innermost life. Avinu Malkeinu, as Jonah cried out to God, I thought I was driven away. Let us reach for the divine from the depths of our being. Avinu Malkeinu, as you said to Moses and Israel, you shall be holy, for I am holy. Let us affirm today we shall pursue holiness in our everyday lives, revering mother and father, providing for the poor, rising before the aged, loving neighbor and stranger as ourselves. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice. Page 429. Feel free to put your arm around someone, if they let you. Avinu Malkeinu, Konenu Vanenu, Kien Vanu Masim, Aseh Imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, Aseh Imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, Le'oshienu, Avinu Malkeinu. I have this image of a whole bunch of people rocking back and forth in their living rooms by way of live stream, and may it indeed be so. I invite you to remain standing as we continue with the Aleinu on page 432. And Ron, after this, if we could lower the lights, that would be amazing.
Aleinu, leshabeach. Harder to do in the afternoon.
You may be seated, and speaking of Hakarata Tov, our cantor just did something incredibly kind for me. This was the full Aleinu, when customarily the clergy actually fully prostrate themselves. Suffice it to say that is not in the cards for this year. And so instead, rather than differentiating and going up to the ark solo, she waited here, which was incredibly kind and gracious, in addition to sounding phenomenal. We are going to enter Ne'ilah together. The lights are going to dim in time. We're going to turn ahead to page 612. Before we do anything else, before the readings, before more majestic singing, I want to invite you to pause and take in this holiest of services, this holiest of moments. I love that in our tradition we are seen to have agency over our actions until our very last breath. And so this service enables us to emerge renewed to a life of possibility and wonder. So let's pause and behold all that is within us before we continue forth on this service of transition. The long day is over, and the gates are closing. Slowly day fades into dusk. Soon the earth will darken. Our bodies weak and weary, our inner strength undiminished. This day has been a gift. Uncluttered time, free from hurry and routine, appointments or assignments. A time to face our sins and imperfections, our dreams and yearnings for the life we want to live. A time to leave the clamor of the world and attend to the voice within. Long ago, the temple gates were locked at dusk. So too, at this hour, the gates of Yom Kippur begin to close. Have we done all that needed to be done? Said everything that needed to be said? The gates of God's compassion never close, but soon enough, our lives close in on us. Now in the silence of the soul, now before the holy day comes to an end, release the unshed tears, the deepest prayers locked in our hearts. Page 614.
עלילה, אל נורא עלילה, המצא לנו מחילה, בשעת הנעילה. אל נורא עלילה, אל נורא עלילה, המצא לנו מחילה, בשעת הנעילה.
Page 617. And truth be told, this one is for me and about me because I was not able to fully fast today at the recommendation of my doctors. So a meditation for those unable to fast, in my case for the first time since I think I was 10. I was not able to fast on this holy day, and this I regret. But I am thankful for all that I am able to do and for everything that brings me to this moment. I am grateful to parents and grandparents, teachers and friends who have taught me and encouraged me to live a Jewish life. I am grateful to the Jews of other times and places who shaped Yom Kippur into a spiritual peak that calls out, you can climb higher than you think. I am grateful for the rich spiritual tapestry of this day, the multifaceted wisdom of Machzor and Torah, a symphony of melodies indeed. The radiance of our sanctuary draped in white, the piercing cry of shofar. I am grateful for traditions that awaken within me the beauty and majesty of the sublime and guide me on the arduous path of tshuva. I am grateful for tshuva, which makes the days of awe a turning point in my life, a time of return, a time of change, a season of response. I am grateful for my bond with the house of Israel, the great family of Jews throughout the world, those who stand with me this day and those who do not, the companions who surround me here, and those whose presence I feel when I hear the sound of Torah and the vibrant notes of Truah, Shvarim, Tkiyah. I was not able to fast on this holy day, but my gratitude is deep beyond words. We continue on page 620 with the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
יעמד יפרח רותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה
ברכו
לילה ולילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירם בעלמה ויאמרו
Amen. Reverie before prayer, taking small steps into the new year. I have come upon a blue lake in my heart, the stillest of waters in this dense word forest of prayer. And like a stand of old growth, the towers of the last Amidah rise toward the unnameable. I invite you to rise, if you are able, for the Amidah, page 622, pausing in silence and reverie indeed before we continue forward.
Adonai
Sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha.
Adonai,
Open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov
be seated.
Open the gates of righteousness for us. Open the gates that we may enter and praise the eternal. Open the gates for us, for all Israel, and for people everywhere. The gates of acceptance and atonement, beauty and creativity. The gates of dignity, empathy, and faith. The gates of generosity and hope, insight and joy. The gates of knowledge and love, meaning and nobility. The gates of openness, patience, and the quest for peace. The gates of renewal, song, and tranquility. The gates of understanding and virtue. The gates of wisdom and wonder, exaltation, youth, and old age. The gates of Zion, reborn and rebuilt in our time. Open the gates, open them wide. Show us the way to enter. We now continue with silent prayer and meditation through page 638. You're welcome to follow along in the prayer book, or, truth be told, do what I do, which is close my eyes and just center. Page 640.
The sun is setting, the gates are closing, the day is through. The sun is setting, the gates are closing, we're here with you. Keep open the gates, keep open the gates for us. Keep open the gates at the end of the day. The sun is setting, the gates are closing, the day is through. The sun is setting, the gates are closing, we're here with you. Keep open the gates, keep open the gates for us. Keep open the gates at the end of the day. Ptach lanu sha'ar et le'ilat sha'ar. Ptach lanu sha'ar et le'ilat sha'ar. The sun is setting, the gates are closing,
Before the gate is locked and shuttered, before every word is said and uttered, before I have become something different, something other, before the mind has lost its way, before possessions are packed and put away, before the pavement hardens here to stay, before the apertures of flutes are sealed, before the laws of nature are revealed, before the vessels break and can't be healed, before decrees and edicts are imposed, before the hand of God has closed, before we rise to leave this place and go. We continue on page 644.
Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech apayim v'rav chesed v'emet, notzer chesed la'alafim, nosei avon v'afesha v'chata v'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech apayim v'rav chesed v'emet, notzer chesed la'alafim, nosei avon v'afesha v'chata v'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech apayim v'rav chesed v'emet, notzer chesed la'alafim, nosei avon v'afesha v'chata v'nakeh.
Page 654. You hold out your hand to those who do wrong. Your right hand opens wide to receive those who return. You teach us the true purpose of confession, to turn our hands into instruments of good, to cause no harm or oppression. Receive us as you promised in the fullness of our heartfelt tshuva. You show us many paths to forgiveness, countless ways to make our lives count, for you know that, in the end, we will return to the dust of the earth. What are we? What is our life? What is the breadth of our goodness, the depth of our righteousness, the true measure of our achievements and success? What use is our power? What good is our strength? What can we say to you, eternal our God, God of all generations? In your presence there are no heroes, and great reputations dissolve. The wise appear unlearned, and the discerning look foolish. For all our deeds amount to futility, and the days of our lives emptiness. We human beings are no better than beasts. All is vanity. I want to read a little more because that ended on a sad note. And yet from the beginning you set us apart. We stand before you, uplifted by your unique awareness of humanity. With love you have given us this day of atonement, to make an end of moral aimlessness through pardon and forgiveness, to make an end of our abuse of power, to welcome our wholehearted return to the ways you desire. And you in your manifold mercy, may you be merciful to us, for the world's destruction is not your desire. As it is said in the prophets, search for eternity while there is time. Cry out when God is near. Let those who do evil give up their ways, and the wicked their designs. Let them return to God, who will show them compassion, to our God, whose forgiveness abounds. 659. We loved and we wept. We were kind and spoke thoughtfully. We were faithful and trusting. We put forth effort. We were mindful. We embraced. We took delight in the holy books. We were creative and we yearned. We fought for justice and searched out the good. We tried our best and we were attentive. We did what you commanded us to do. We found meaning in Torah, and most of the time we did what is right. We proclaimed your name, and we were accepting. We were joyful, and indeed we cared. I invite you to rise for Avinu Malkeinu, page 664. Please ask someone near you, if you so choose, to put your arm around them, and we will rock back and forth, as is the Brodsky family tradition. As we are sealed, open us. Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your hand. As the book of life is closed and sealed, open our hearts, open our hands. Let those who ask forgiveness and those who gave forgiveness depart this place in peace. Let all God seekers and soul searchers of this day depart this place inspired and renewed. Together, let us build a community of commitment. Let all of us be sealed this day. Gmar Chatima Tova, sealed for goodness and sealed for life. Besefer Chaim Tovim, sealed in the book of life and good. Eager to taste life's sweetness, to enjoy the fruit of our labors, to bring light to the darkness and joy where sorrow dwells. Be sealed for a year of Torah and soulful searching. Be sealed for a year of kindness, good deeds, and love. As the book of life is closed and sealed, open our hands, open our hearts. Page 668.
And I'm going to invite up my friend, Cantor Jen Benray, to join me and help me with the chorus for this piece.
And I'm going to invite everyone to sit down, because you've had a lot of sitting and standing today. There will be one more standing section. And Ethan, get ready.
יתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה חירותי וימיר מלכותי בחייכון וביום נכון ובחיי תכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב והימרו אמן והשמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה לאלה לאלה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא והימרו אמן תתקבץ אלוהיהם ובאותיהם בכל ישראל קדם לתורה תבישמיה 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 והימרו אמן והשלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים וחיים עלינו עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יעל והימרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל והימרו אמן
I think that is hour 12 of Cantor Brodsky's singing today. Extraordinary. So I'd like to invite everyone to kindly rise as we turn to page 672. It is a joy to invite forward Ethan Levine Weinberg to regale us with some serious shofar at the tail end of these words of blessing. Then we'll continue into Havdalah thereafter.
Adonai hu ha-Elohim, Adonai hu ha-Elohim, Adonai hu ha-Elohim, Adonai hu ha-Elohim, Adonai hu
Want me to do some shofar calls?
Go for it.
Okay. And I see that Fran Colin is here with a shofar. If anyone else happened to bring a shofar and has the skills like Fran Colin, please by all means join us. Tekiah. Shvarim. Trua. Tekiah Gedolah. Shikoach. Lishana Haba'ah.
Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana Haba'ah, B'Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana Haba'ah, B'Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana B'Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana B'Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana Haba'ah, B'Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana Haba'ah, B'Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana B'Yerushalayim. Lishana Haba'ah, Lishana B'Yerushalayim.
A couple of brief announcements before we continue with Havdalah. Just very simply, please join us for a break the fast in the lobby. It is really yummy. People are hungry. It's a good place to be. Please say hello to someone new. We have such a burgeoning community that there are many people who have yet to connect and meet each other. Please say thank you to someone you have not yet thanked, be they a co-president or a board member or a lay person or a musician or a security person or one of our extraordinary ushers in person or online, whether it is someone who made the sound wonderful. Find somebody to thank, because there was a lot that went into this day. And without further ado, we're going to continue with Havdalah, page 674.
And though this is not a Brodsky family tradition, I also encourage you to put your arms around the people next to you and sway for Havdalah.
Give me 1 second.
La 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen borei peri hagafen lai 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 La 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei besamim borei minei besamim Lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai la la lai 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 la la lai lai la la lai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei haesh borei meorei
Because we're ending 7 minutes early, we're just going to stand here quietly for 7 minutes and look at the challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shana Tova, dear ones.
Shana Tova. You are awesome.
I don't know if you saw me have some tears with Pete Fu, but I was just like, oh
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was, and I was holding it together because I didn't want to ugly cry.
Oh.
It was just fun.